I'm going to approach this topic in a very different way, so that we get a roundabout understanding. And today it's not going to be complete. I'll see if I have the time. I will do it during the week, or we will continue next Sunday on these concepts. Okay. So let us see what are the elements in communication methods. See, what I'm taking the kitchen strategy here. When we say what are the elements in the kitchen, kitchen में क्या क्या होता है? सब्जी होती है, पानी होता है, vessel होता है, gas होता है, oven होता है. You've got so many things, you've got so many elements. So you consider these are the elements. We will call this a kitchen methodology of understanding communication. Because communication is a wide topic, and I'm not really talking about standing on the public stage and giving, that is also communication, but I want to take a wide spectrum of things, into this. So what are the elements? Let us look at what are the kitchen elements that we have in communication. So we have speaking. मैं आपसे बात कर रहा हूँ, you're listening. That is speaking. That's easy to understand. Tone of voice. Hello Vivek. Hey Vivek. Well, both the tones are completely different. Vivek, can you hear me? Hey Vivek, can you hear me, dude? See, they're two different Vishals completely. Just by changing my tone, I'm able to convey a different personality. I'm able to throw a different personality. Okay. Body language and gestures. Okay. So the way, if you see the president of US or you see politicians, they're trained. They will talk like this. 1, 2, third point, and they'll do the finger pointing. They are trained to do this. They are people who are groomed to teach you body gestures and body language, and how you can use that to convey, to reinforce what you're trying to say. You try it out for yourself. One says you keep your body shrunk and try to speak, and another is just kind of relax, open out, and you can see the impact, right? When I talk like this, and kya baat hai, kya ho raha hai, kya baat hai bhai, kya ho raha hai? It's the when you open up your body and you stand with poise and confidence and you talk, the whole message changes. So that's the meaning of body language. What is eye contact? Eye contact is so crucial. See, now we're in the camera world, so this is just a tip. When you're talking on camera, when you're doing something, a recording, or you're doing live webinar like this, always look on the top side of your screen. Upar ka jo 1 inch hota hai na, keep looking at that more. That creates a good eye contact for people who are watching you. And if you really want to feel that somebody is talking to you one-to-one, look right into the center of the lens. Am I giving you that feeling right now? All of you all are feeling that I am talking to you one-to-one. If you're getting that feeling, just type 2 in the chat box. Yes, that. See, I'm looking right in the center of the lens, and you will feel that I'm talking to each one of you. Just put 2, to confirm my observation. So if you want to do that, so eye contact is something so important. And when you're in a public stage, you're talking to somebody, when it says that when you're talking to someone who is kind of junior to you, you should be looking, see, there is this V spectrum. There is this V that this is the area of control. It's an area of control. So when you're talking to someone whom you want to control, you should be looking here. You try to control him from here. It gives that idea of control. If you're looking at someone who's equal to you, then you look into his eyes somewhere here, and talk to him. If you want to submit to somebody, then don't look at him, don't, talk to him looking here. Try, look at these areas. He will get your submission. He could be anybody, someone very senior. You don't want to be aggressive. You want to be submissive. So don't look above his, look below, or into his eyes, based how you feel. So eye contact is very important. When you are talking on public stage, you can capture the audience through eye contact. Okay. So today I'm just introducing these elements. We will, as the time progresses, we'll go deeper into these things. Handwriting conveys, handwriting is another element in communication. Do you think handwriting is just handwriting? Handwriting conveys a big part of your personality. If there is, if I have invited certain handwriting analysts to talk in this group, if they accept my invitation and they agree to do it free, we will do a session on handwriting analysis. Okay, some part they will teach us that when you sign, what is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of signature? When you write, what is the meaning of these strokes? They will teach us. Choice of words, This is so important. This is such an important element in communication. Who is the person? Does he know you? Can you get casual with him? Do you need to use formal words? Does your dog and his dog mean the same thing? You may say saying dog and you mean something, and he hears dog and he gets wild. For you, dog means loyalty. For him, dog means pain. So what do you do about it? So you have to be very careful, because the onus on communicating properly is yours. You have to understand what this word is going to mean to the other guy. Whether your dog and his dog is same, then you can use the word dog. Otherwise, you can't use it. Then how do you sequence the words and statements? Again, in written and oral, if you want something out of somebody, you cannot start with negative things first. You have to talk positive. I am working with people who are very refined. If they want to criticize me also, first they'll write 2 good things about me. Vishal, you're very good. You're doing this, doing that. We are so happy to see you. However, would you consider doing this? No, that is something so much acceptable. You come straight. Some people. It's one of the places where I disagreed with one of my fellow coaches. He said you should take negative feedback. I said, boss, not everyone is ready to take negative feedback first up. You have to warm him up, give him the positive ones, structure, and then gently give the negative, gently create the negative ones. That is how it works. Otherwise, your feedback will go into the dustbin and it's going to become your enemy. So don't do that. Art form is a communication. See, my elements are scattered. I'm just talking about them in any flow. Don't try to, just try to expect. I'm talking about knife, aloo, bengan, fridge, oven. I'm just introducing the elements. We will see later how it all patches up. Okay? Art form is also a communication. Okay? When you create a Facebook post, picture and all that, that's communication. One picture can convey so much. One of my mentors used to say, one picture can be 1,000 words. One picture. One great painting, so much it can convey. That is communication too. Then we need to understand that this modern technology, you see that I'm using PowerPoint here. So when should you use a PowerPoint? When should you not use it? Sometimes PowerPoint can be messy. It can limit your flow. But sometimes it's important. So when should you use it? When should you not use it? Then role of practice. Now this is, a lot of people who are into communication will tell you that that you should practice a lot your communication and make it absolutely perfect. Practice it 10 times, 15 times. If you don't practice, then you're going to fail, they'll tell you. True. Okay. But that's only initially. Okay. Initially, when you have not done enough, presentations, when you have not done enough stage talking, when you're not comfortable looking into people's eyes, when you're not comfortable making some mistakes, and you don't care. You've done so many times, you make a mistake, you joke about it, and you go ahead. A casual style of presentation, assuming that it's not a technical subject, it's so much more well received by the audience. The same thing that I'm doing here, I know all of you are enjoying. Suppose if I stand erect, I say speaking, tone, eye contact. If it won't. It will come very artificial. Here you know that ye banda, he's got no notes, he sirf dekh ke bol raha hai, which is true. I'm just looking at it and I'm talking. But when you do this, you should have command on the subject. There are certain topics on which I don't need anything. I can just go on, because I have command on that topic. So when you have command on it, don't worry too much about practice. Keep your natural thing going. Have a broad parameter of the talk with you. Broad parameters, main points, and start talking. Don't over practice each and every line. I have seen some of these talks by Oscar, Oscar talks and all that. उनको पहले मालूम वो जीत गए, ऐसा prepare करके आएंगे. Once you know that, once you've done enough public speaking, you know that this is artificial. Even that pause, and that emotion, drama, it's all practiced. It's all practiced to the hilt. That creating that, you'll feel, that. Then they will take the pause. So this is a controversial topic. Somebody who sees this video, audiences who are going to see this video later, I'm sorry if I am going away from the agreed normal, but I believe in natural way of communication. As long as you have command on the topic. If it's technical, then you have to be structured, you have to be looking at, or if you don't have command on the topic, then you cannot go here and there, you'll make mistakes. But if you have the grip, go with a natural way. Don't over practice. Then state of mind, it's another element in this. Okay, it's such a key element. If you're in a calm state of mind, and you are connected in a real time with your audience. Here I'm coming. This comes a little bit of philosophy and spirituality comes in here. I'm talking with my experience. If you have not over practiced, you have the confidence. And if you have deep concern and true concern for the people who you're talking to, there's some sensitivity that develops in you, what I have to talk. And that flow starts, and each person who's in that audience will feel that, whatever I wanted, this person has said. Something of importance has come into that. And that is what is the state of mind. Calm, collective. You're in a creative zone. You're not, that you're not Rishabh, you're not Vivek, you're not Himani, you're not Asha, you're not Vishal. You are somebody who loves the audience, who cares for the audience, who's bringing something very genuine on board. Even if you're talking on architecture, you are burning from inside to give that spirit of architecture to those people. Okay, so when that deep concern is there, and you remain equipoised, when you remain connected to the creative zone, then you tap into the real needs of the audience, and that's the time when people will, really applaud. This banda, how did this guy know I wanted to know all this? He has delivered what I wanted to know. Okay? So that's the magic of being in creative flow and state of mind. And these things requires a practice, bit of practice. I agree. Maybe not all of us can start with this initially. Even I didn't get it. I also practiced. But remember, it starts with practice, a lot of practice, but doesn't end there. You have to go beyond. Okay. So I have one more slide, and it may take another 5 minutes. Is it okay? I think it's okay. Let's not kind of be so formal. We know each other now. 5 minutes idhar udhar kya farak padta hai. Okay, so in the earlier slide, if you see the last statement, use of all the above elements will be based on the objective to be met. When should I use namak? When should I use pepper? When should I use oven? When should I use gas? It all depends on what you want to make. Everything is right. Okay, all these are elements. There's nothing good, bad, ugly about it. It's what you want to make out of it. What are the objectives of your communication? Do you want to trigger a logical response? Do you want to trigger an emotional response? Do you want to enthuse or motivate people? Do you want to kind of let people buy? Do you people to buy is bad English? Sorry. Do you want people to buy? Okay. Do you want to convey a spiritual teaching or principle? Is it a spiritual talk? Okay. If it's a spiritual talk, then the state of mind, the way you convey will be very different. Do you want to trigger deep reflection in people? Then the pause that you will take, the way you will structure your thoughts, you'll talk in terms of questions. You will not talk in terms of flow. You'll ask questions. You will wait. You will probe. The whole technique is different. Okay. Then do you want to just connect or socialize? If you're just talking with friends, 7, 8, and then you will talk in a different way. There you ask probing questions. Won't work. You say, "Pagal hai kya? What is he doing? You've come here to have fun," and so. People just forget this. They try to market one communication technique which they are good at as the best thing in the world. It's not like that. If you're in a board meeting, it will be different. If it's a technical presentation, it is different. You must master all the elements of communication, and you should use what is necessary. I am from a genre, from my heartfulness genre, where we have been trained speak from the heart. Touch the person's heart and talk to him, and kind of your talk should touch his heart. Great, you should do that. But what if I have to sell to him in about 15 minutes time? All this business of touching someone's heart is okay if it's a spiritual advice. If you want to leave an impact, lasting impression for him to savor later, that's great. That's fantastic advice. You should do it. लेकिन मुझे उसको 15 मिनट में माल बेचना है. Then I have to use, modern sales techniques. I have to use his in the head. I have to appeal to his logic, to his emotion, to his prefrontal cortex, to his limbic brain. I have to use, and I have to create a reaction in him. कि 15 मिनट में yes बोले मुझे. As long as I know that I'm selling the right thing. As long as I know that I'm selling him the right thing, why would I not use that technique? Of course I will use it to close the sales early with him. As long as I believe that this product is useful for him, then I will do it. That time the communication technique is different. So this is it, guys, and we will keep building on more of these ideas on communication. So this is a preview of the free communication workshop that will come, that I had promised will be done in Heartful Learners Academy. We will do that. And that communication thing will be something like this. This is a preview talk. I may even cut this portion out of this talk and put it there. It's come out quite well. And we will look at different elements, and we will see, once people have mastered, we will master these elements. We'll master, or at least some level of control you get on these elements. And then we will see in different contexts what you will do, how you will structure, how you will communicate. So that will be that workshop. And all of you, I hope you will attend. So great. Time to wind up. Quick comments. If you like the content and communication, please press 3. I just want a quick feedback from all of you. Rishabh ji says brilliant. Thank you. Munira 3. Ajit, Lena ji 333. Okay. Wonderful. So all of you liked it. Great. So thank you so much. And so no questions on this, because I'm motivating all of you to join the interaction group. Those who are in the interaction group, please talk about this, say a few things, so that people are motivated to attend this more and more. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Thank you so much.